Reveille.
Look at us now, tip to
Ooh, Jesus.
Shout out to Morning Kombat.
Do you want a margarita? Yes! My God!
to us, doing what we love. It's time to bang. Oh, yeah, let's bang, Tui. It's a big one today, Thursday, August 14th of the 25s, and you've stumbled in on Morning Kombat's UFC 319 pre-game preview episode. It's LT, it's BC, but don't bury the lead. He may look tiny on camera there, but he's big in person.
Tiny?
How about UFC lightweight Matt Frevola, the steamroller himself? I mean, steamroller.
Show him the shirt. Show him the shirt.
We got the
stand
Ray
up.
Long-
Stand up.
We got the Ray Longo
Right there. This
shirt
camera.
back up.
They'll
Look at this
they'll
guy.
hook you up. Show them. Look at that fucking shirt.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that gangster.
Look at
right
those
there.
nipples.
Look at that.
No,
Oh my goodness. We are going to get you all set up for Saturday's UFC 319 pay-per-view live and direct from Chicago, and a main event that is like a 35 out of 10 in ratings. Dricus Du Plessis making the fourth defense of his UFC middleweight title against unbeaten Khamzat Chimaev. Before we get any further, when I say that fight, what happens next to your body, Matt?
Oh, I get the tingles in my ball sack.
Yes. All right. You may remember, of course, Matt Frevola's great visit to our couch back in Jersey City for our room service diary. So good stuff right there.
BC tried to Bill Cosby him. It was terrible.
It was pretty terrible right there. Brian Campbell, of course, Luke Thomas. Welcome on in. One disclaimer, Matt. You know, I don't know if you're familiar with pregame preview, but not only do we get down with a little Cuervo tequila, but we expect real talk. Like men do.
Can I tell you, I've never liked that catch line ever. I think it's been dumb since the first time you've done it.
I thought that T-shirt was going to sell, and then RJ Dunkel Gangbang was like, "Yeah, we didn't move any."
Yeah, not a single one.
No one wanted real talk like.
And then
men
people
do.
got mad at us and said it was sexist too. So.
It probably is, to be fair. But hey, welcome on in. You can like the show. You can certainly subscribe on YouTube. Welcome to everybody watching on the DraftKings Network, or if you're an audio-only donk like that, we still appreciate you right there. Our extended social channels, our YouTube channels. Also, how about some MK merch? MorningCombat.shop. Our August exclusives are live and direct until they are done from the shelves. Yes, we're talking about MK's Beavis and Butthead, brought to you by Average Joe Art. Vaping is for closers, a Luke Thomas special. And, of course, our autographed Super Washed Dads poster. That is pretty much down to, I think, one or two left. So we've been moving them. They won't be here for September. Hopefully we can get Mr. Frevola outfitted more in this MK bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Did we hook you up last time or no?
No.
We didn't give you any gear?
No.
Sean Brady got a bomber jacket. This guy got nothing.
Yeah,
No,
no,
man.
we did. Well, that's what we got to fix. We'll fix that.
We'll
fix that.
Quick,
Hey, Long Island Luke, we got to fix that. All right.
Yeah, quickly, let's say hi to the fourth member of our team. What a Long Island sausage fest we got today. He's the son of an Australian. He's our producer, director, bong enthusiast, and of course the host of the Main Card Minute podcast, Luke Nocita. Bro, you must have a hard on from here to Huntington over what's going on today.
I'm hyped up for this episode. Welcome, Matt. Good to be here.
Yeah, us Long Island guys, we got to stick together.
Exactly.
That's it. Do you ever see that guy walking around the street panhandling, or no? You've never seen him before,
not yet.
All right.
Not yet.
You'll see it soon.
Yeah, under a bridge, fucking drivers and shit.
That's
for
wild.
cash.
All right. Also, yeah, thank you very much. Also, I wanted to remind you that today's episode of Morning Kombat is presented by DraftKings. And of course, with DraftKings, you already know. The crown is yours. Thank you. Luke Thomas was crowning like the King of England, but he went to the restroom for the third time.
Yeah, that's a different kind of crown.
For the third time this morning, and then told us some gross details about it. All right. We always kick it off by getting a little saucy here from our fine friends over at Cuervo Tequila. And, of course, this segment, this show, this feeling and spirit is brought to you by Cuervo. And now's a good time to enjoy the tequila that invented tequila. So why don't we do that? We are back with the Devil's Reserve.
Show that to the camera, yeah.
Which is a wonderfully awesome piece of machinery.
Now,
right
Mr.
here.
Frevola has said to us, listen, he's not a big drinker. We're not going to make him. There's no peer pressure. We always encourage drinking in moderation, except you and me, which we don't agree with that. But everyone else, I enforce it. However, he's going to play ball, and he's going to have one shot, which I think is the appropriate amount.
As we are setting this up, because Luke's got to put Mountain Dew in there and maybe a tampon. But as we're setting it up, are you in camp now, or are you expecting to be in camp? What can you say about the future?
Tell us what's going on in the life
Matt
of
Frevola.
Steamroller.
Yeah, I'm training. I'm always training. I'm coaching a lot right now, but I'm always training. If guys got fights coming up, I'm always stepping up and sparring. I'm feeling good. I'm ready to start camp, and I told them that I'll fight anybody at Madison Square Garden. You give me King Kong, I'll fight him. So I'm just prepping for November and hoping to get some big fight news hopefully soon.
Let's go to all those Steamroller fans out there in Long Island and beyond. Shout out to Billy Q. You guys used to tear it up in Tampa.
Okay, Devil's Reserve is cooked. I finished it.
The Devil is done right here. I normally don't support devilish activities, but the Devil's Reserve is just fantastic.
This one, just the smell it for just a second.
Let me smell.
You can smell the spice on it.
Yeah.
Smells like Mel B.
Smells delicious.
Okay, that's a little oddly specific, but
all right. Luke, I don't know why you need a chaser, but hey, I just like being your friend.
First of all, you can get this. Actually, Long Island Luke, can you still get this one at the shop?
Yes, that is available
that
year
one
round.
right there, the
Year
three
round,
margaritas glass.
All right, so we do a particular kind of toast here. It's the
Because
one that I
of Luke's
learned
love for
from my
Colombian
South
women.
American in-laws.
Yes.
So
Okay.
arriba, abajo, al centro, toast.
Cayo
Toast.
Borjalio. Yes.
Abajo, go.
Oh yeah, smooth as the
Wow.
day is long.
What do you think?
That was smooth.
That's what I'm saying.
Smooth.
I
That's
didn't
what
even
I'm saying.
taste any alcohol.
Wow. I just tasted success right there. All right. Yeah, let's go. I'm a borderline TKO employee right now. All right, this is great. Let's go.
Yeah, it makes it a little weird.
All right. But I'm ready to get you fired up. We always open our talk of a pay-per-view for pregame preview here by really talking about how we would grade it. And we're critical when it's time. I don't think this is a week to be critical. Luke Thomas, right off the top, give me a letter grade. We already know the main event is a 15 out of 10, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Top to bottom, though, what are you giving? With King Green pulling out this morning, so no Carlos Diego Ferreira fight. We've got
Which does hurt the card a little.
We have 3 late additions.
Definitely.
right.
I was excited for that fight. Those are 2 guys I've had on my radar for a long time. And I was excited. I wanted to see, who would come out in that one. But, King Green pulled out. I guess undisclosed. We don't really know why. But
Hey,
definitely
call Frevola. He would have filled in on, if he wasn't taking down this tequila right now, he would have filled in.
at 170 maybe.
Yeah. What are you walking around right now?
I'm like 178, 179.
That's not too big.
Yeah, right where we need to be.
Okay.
All right. And
All right,
by the way,
but-
shout out to the new dad. I did want to mention this.
Oh, yes.
Just like Muhammad Ali, you named your son Cassius. Watch him bash this 1 year old. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Are you
man.
sleeping?
I am. He sleeps great. He sleeps great. He eats great. He's a happy kid. And now he's starting to walk around, run around. It's awesome.
Yeah. When they get ambulatory, it's a new ball game.
When
Oh,
will
yeah.
you introduce the jujutsu to him? Huh?
I've already had him at the gym. He grew up in the gym. I was, my wife works a real job. So she goes to the city 3 days a week. So I would just bring him to the gym with me. And
Just let Ray watch him. Yeah, that's great.
Well, well, I bring him in the morning before Ray. Ray doesn't get there till 1.
Yes.
Uncle Marab will take care of him. It's all good right there.
Real quickly, Tuki yesterday, it's my daughter, that's what I call her, told me she wants to take jujitsu.
Nice.
I took her to swim
God.
camp. And they did a jujitsu demonstration from a nearby school. And she goes, Daddy, I want to take lessons. And
Is
I
that
was like,
because your wife rolled with Roxanne Modafferi?
She didn't even know that. And when we told her, I was like, I used to do this. And she just didn't care. She was like, no, yeah, but interesting. I want to go train that thing. I was, anyway.
Wow, her
All right.
Darce is going to be amazing. Letter grade for 319 with the additions, by the way, of 2 Ultimate Fighter finale fights. And the dude who fought on the Contender Series and won 3 nights ago.
Yes.
What's his name?
Susurkayev.
Susurkayev. What's the first name? It was
Bayangar?
Bayangar.
Something like that?
Let the rhythm take you over. This guy is going to fight twice. This is like cowboy Cerrone shit. What do you give the grade to the card?
I think because the main, and I know you're asking for the full card,
Yes.
which I do think there's quality on, but I think that the main is so outrageously good and the co-main definitely one to really care about. I'm going to give it an A.
Oh,
This is the main event I've cared about. I was interested in Ilya versus Charles. I think we all were. But this is the one I've had my eye on. This is the one to me that's got the most capacity for something, I don't know, memorable, different, elevated, crazy. the sport's built off of oh shit moments, and I just feel like this fight.
This could be
is
5
good.
rounds of
Yeah,
oh
this fight,
shit.
I mean, don't you feel like that, Matt? Like this one's got the potential to unlock something different.
Oh yeah, especially because the middleweight division is just booming right now. There's so many like awesome contenders, and this fight, I go back and forth. You know, Khamzat is so good. You know, he's undefeated, and that's what you want out of a title fight. You want an undefeated challenger who's going to go in there and challenge for the title. And DDP, you know, he's so good. He's like unorthodox, and I'm excited to see. You know, I've counted DDP out too many times,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Me too.
I've stopped doing that. I think. I think he's gonna go in there and stop the hype train in Khamzat.
Wow,
but
early,
we'll see. We'll
early
see.
prediction as,
Yeah.
We'll break it down. We'll break
as
it down.
by the way, the champ will be the betting underdog. Long Island Luke, could you relate to us the current DraftKings odds on this main event?
Yes, we got plus 210 for Dricus, minus
What?
258 for Khamzat.
Okay, Luke, we totally
Wow.
understand why Khamzat, who 8 out of 10 times in his UFC career looks like fucking the unstoppable villain,
Jason Voorhees,
who might be the
yeah.
pound for pound king. He also has looked human at times. We mentioned the Usman fight, the Gilbert Burns fight. He also is inconsistent at being consistent as a fighter, health-wise, visa-wise, all this shit that's kept him to a point where he's fought once in a year for 3 of the last 4 years. Is it, though, with all those facts, is it disrespectful to the champion that the odds makers are like, yeah, but this might end in 2.5 minutes?
Well, I got to tell you, I don't think it's crazy that he's the favorite. I don't think that it's that. I mean, that's not a huge favorite, but that's a pretty big one. Given, I mean, this is the part to me that gives me some trepidation about that. It's like this. There seems to be like a lot of unknowns. To have the odds in that particular way is a little bit surprising to me because, listen, is Khamzat going to get him down? Yes, he's going to get him down. Is he going to get him down multiple times? Probably, you know. But I think anybody who's telling you, oh, this fight's going to go one way, I don't know, man. I think that confidence is just misplaced. That's the point I'm trying to make. Like, there's fucking chaos written all over this
so
one.
Matt,
Yeah.
I missed the boat on DDP on the rise. I thought Robert Whittaker was going to completely
too.
embarrass
So did
him.
I.
And obviously his opponents underestimate him to the point that we love that video that came out earlier this year of Robert Whittaker on Adesanya's couch podcasting. And they're like, oh my God, he's slow. He's awkward. He's the best shit fighter that's out there. Like, when you watch the tape as a fighter, are you more apt to think he's not legit, yet he just is finding a way to win these fights in the most legit way every single time?
Yeah, he's so unorthodox, but he's effective, and that's the key. Is, you know, he even said it. He's not the best striker. He's not the best wrestler. He's not the best grappler. But in mixed martial arts, the way he puts everything together is effective. And he's strong. He's a gorilla in there, and he's confident, and he's got the cardio. And for 5 rounds, I think that's the real thing in this fight. Is that the later the fight goes, DDP is going to keep getting stronger, and then Khamzat, his cardio has always been in question. But he is, you know, training with the new strength and conditioning. Was it Sam Calvillo?
Yeah, Calvillo, yeah,
Calvillo.
at Training Lab, yeah.
Yeah, so, and you see Armin's there, Pico's there. So I think Khamzat's definitely, you know, prepping for a 5-round war. But again, is he gonna, you know, change his fighting style for 5 rounds? Is he gonna go in there in the first round and maybe not just shoot right away and kind of, you know, ease into it? But we'll see. You know,
We're gonna see, and that's obviously the central
Can
dynamic.
I pick his brain for a second?
I would love it.
Can we actually like pinpoint what DDP is good at, or why he has success? So you mentioned one thing. He is just so physical, right? You look at the pass he hit on Robert Whittaker, that Sao Paulo, the Tozy pass. Just, you know, you're just driving down. These grinding kind of hardcore passing like that. Not mobile passing. That's one, right? He's just a gorilla. But the other one, it seems to me, is I just look at stuff he does. Even when he's fumbling, he just kind of keeps trying shit. You know what I mean? Like, he just throws stuff at the wall and just sees what sticks. But because he just doesn't stop, eventually something just breaks through. You know what I mean?
oh yeah.
Do you agree with that assessment? Like, pinpoint for me what you think he actually does well. Why does he win?
I think he's so unpredictable, and it reminds me of Marab a little bit. You know, they're in there, and I don't even think they know what they're doing until they do it.
And it's full speed ahead at all times, too. Yeah.
Full speed, and I think they're just the best at fighting, and that's like natural. You know, they have the skills in each discipline, but then when they're in there, the way they mix it up and the way they just fight is why he's the best in the world. And
the way he carries out a game plan seems to be pretty special. Like when you see his coaches, what do you know his name? He's very underrated.
Some
and it's his lifelong
Afrikaner's
coach.
name, yeah.
Like it feels like, tell me if I'm wrong, that one of his greatest things is that adaptability, where when the fight gets close and you're not sure which direction it's leaning, he finds the right move, the right counter, the right path to take it there. Is that like something that's hard to like put into words, like a clutch gene or something?
Yeah, I think it is. It's clutch, and he just trusts his instincts.
Yeah.
He's got those instincts. You know, he was maybe born with them, but he also dialed them in through his training. And his coaches look like they're really preparing him the right way. You know, did you hear him on the countdown show, kind of just saying, "Oh, Khamzat's just gonna wrestle. His striking sucks." Just like talking so much smack about his striking. And I thought that his DDP's coach was kind of playing a mind game, like trying to get. He knows that Khamzat's going to see that.
Sure.
And then maybe Khamzat's going to come in there and he's going to strike with him, and he's not going to do what he does best, which is wrestle. So, you know, I feel like DDP's coach was maybe playing a mind game there, trying to get Khamzat to like prove everyone wrong that he can strike. And
I like that. I like that way of looking at it.
Also, DDP's mind games might be the best in the sport. Like, people just cry when he talks. It's insane.
That's true. But also when we talk about the connection between fighter and trainer, how much do you think that's fueled by the fact that they're willing to open mouth kiss each other on camera?
I mean, that's definitely a close relationship.
I mean, how close are you and Ray Longo is my real question. You know what I mean?
BC tries to kiss me every episode. I have to fight him off.
I'm not kissing Longo on the lips.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much right there. So I think, I mean, I don't want to say it's disrespectful to make him the underdog. Odds makers said it how they believe, and Khamzat is such a fucking rocket right now that you don't know what's going to happen. But look at the run DDP is on. Unbeaten in the UFC. Definitely we could show highlights from the Darren Till fight or from earlier fights and be like, damn, he looks, you know, not elite in that moment or whatever, but he makes the awkwardness work for him. 4 consecutive wins over current or former champions. And if he adds an unbeaten Chimaev, we are talking about him separating himself more from the pack of, to be fair, the great middleweight champions in history. But Luke, is he taking it too far when at media day, Du Plessis said, this is the win. I'm 1 win away from being in the middleweight GOAT conversation. I mean, come on. We got to respect the spider here. Like, let's not.
He would be in the conversation for where he fits in the Izzy Weidman. Like at that point, it would be like a Izzy Weidman DDP thing. Like who now can move in that space? But the Anderson Silva space, like we're not even fucking close.
So we are certainly talking about somebody who is a top 5 pound for pound guy, is really showing you he's at the peak of his powers. And he's a growing brand, I would say. Do you get the feeling like he could be a pivotal player for the UFC on the from the idea that they're pivoting now to Paramount and CBS, and it's going to be in some ways a whole new market they're attacking? Do you look at DDP as one of the pillars of the current stars that UFC has?
Not yet. But with a win over Khamzat, I think that will definitely get him there. But he's got a whole country to back him, and you know the UFC, they love that. And you know he's charismatic. He's fun to watch. He's fun to listen to. I think he goes out there and he finishes Khamzat. He's going to be, you know, in that next tier.
All right.
And I made this point too. Like, dude, becoming a star takes a while. Like, I can't tell you how long it took Anderson Silva before he really became a household name. He became who you understand Anderson Silva to be. It did not happen overnight. It took several.
Do you think it's a single moment, or do you think it's a combination of the front kick to Belfort? And
so it's a series of
fight?
small moments. That one moment ultimately is the straw that breaks the camel's back. So there can be there can be that one moment where you're like everything changed, but there has to be a significant amount of buildup to get even to that point. And DDP hasn't had that yet, to the point that this is why I totally agree, because you know beating Sean Strickland in Australia, that's nice. That's not nothing. That's a tough fight to win, but to become a promotional darling, to become a name, you got to win fights like this one here in Chicago.
That Georgia dirt hole, Jed Meshew II, who was on sub radio with me yesterday, shout out to Dennis, by the way, says that if DDP wins by finish here, he's going to put him number 1 from pound for pound. I'm like, yo, slow your damn roll.
He said that?
He did.
Wow.
But at the same time, he was day 1 shit on DDP. On the flip side, Luke, you start. This is what we do to DDP if he wins. He goes way higher here in the middleweight, history and everything. what does Khamzat become with a first-round finish? I mean, or any win where you're like, holy shit, he's as good as he has teased that he might be. Is he? Because he's already, I think, a bigger star than DDP. But if he's a champion, and if he finishes the champion to do it, what is he on Monday morning?
That's a tough one. I'm hesitant to say the face of the UFC, but something right behind it.
Wow.
Something right behind it.
You agree with that?
You know, he's already the boogeyman.
Right.
You know, nobody wants to fight him. He's scary. And he backs it up. You know, he goes in there and he runs through people. He takes people down, and then he chokes their face off. Like that, breaking Whitaker's jaw with that choke. That after that fight, I was like, all right, I'm a believer in this guy. He's.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
No, I have not. And then, I mean, I remember after that fight, like I go to jiu-jitsu practice and we're starting to like work this like real. You don't even need to get under the neck. You know, Khamzat just showed it. You can just choke people's face and break their jaw.
Damn it.
It's insane. But he goes in there and finishes DDP. I think he's gonna be one of the top. Probably him and Elliott will be the
Right.
top.
That's
guys.
what I'm going to say, because Ilya is a little bit further ahead in terms of big promotional wins, right? Because he iced Max, he iced Charles, he iced Volk. Those are 3 big names. Khamzat hasn't had a chance to beat names like that or people who are in elevated positions like that. Robert Whitaker was pretty close, but now you've got a champion. Now you've got a freaking champion. You ice him, dude, it's a different ballgame.
And think about it, we haven't had a guy like him as a UFC champion star who is an obvious bad guy, but gets cheered like he's a good guy. And I don't mean he's a bad person. I mean, he presents that he's the wolf with the crazy beard. He made the joke with Daniel Cormier in that great clip that came out today of chick stig terrorists. Like he knows the foreign gangster, you know, role that he's playing here. Yet almost like in 90s WWE when Stone Cold Steve Austin becomes the biggest babyface by being a bad guy, it's like he really has that right star at the right time moment that everyone makes everyone have an emotion, whether you love him or you're scared of him or whatever, all that. But he has been saying things, Matt, and we talked about this on Monday's show, that he thinks he could be the first UFC 3 division champion. I know, like, you got to win this one first. Like, we said, a lot of inconsistencies, but, he wants to go down and fight the winner of Islam JDM. He wants to go up and fight the winner of Poatan versus Ankalaev Part 2. Do you think the division is too red hot at middleweight for the UFC to even allow that to happen in the near future if he wins?
Yeah, definitely. I think he's got 185 is booming, and he's got contenders just lined up, and I think that sets the stage for him, or for whoever wins this fight, DDP or Khamzat, whoever wins this fight, you're gonna have challenger after challenger of very good fighters, and you're gonna be able to build a legacy if you can run through all these challengers.
Real quick, Luke, tell me who the winner of this fight faces, either guy, next. Is it depend on Imavov against Bohalio, or is Imavov already behind the 8 ball because RDR is on a sexy run where he'll fight anyone at any time?
I think there's a good chance it's RDR.
Is it better chance for DDP, or does Chimaev kind of reset the division where it could be anybody?
I think what's going to happen is they're going to wait and see how big the win is for either Bohalio or Imavov. And to the extent that that's not a boring decision, to the extent that there's something electric about it, that person will get the bump. But if it is just an ordinary win, which there's a good chance it could be, then I think they're gonna go to the bullpen and they're gonna pull up RDR.
I wonder, if Chimaev wins and you reset the stable now, because DDP fought a lot of those guys, does that suddenly mean that Whitaker, Adesanya, Strickland are one big win away from being right back in the title picture? Just because, imagine if you're the UFC and you're selling Chimaev versus Adesanya.
I don't think those guys are right back in the title picture.
Okay, I thought they were in that Rich Franklin spot where they were one win out. One name we didn't bring up.
Strickland definitely isn't.
I meant Rich Franklin spot where they can call you at any time.
I know, but I'm saying, I don't think Strickland's in that spot. I don't think Izzy's in that spot.
I think if Chimaev wins and the beef between them, and if Strickland gets a win in the next couple months,
yeah.
then you could.
You're right.
We didn't mention Anthony Fluffy Hernandez,
Not
who
if
has
DDP.
aggressively inserted his name. A little off topic, but I wanted to bring it up from a fighter. When we, as journalists / super fans, see the way he ragdolled Roman Dolidze, I don't see shit like that happen in competitive elite main event fights. From a fighter perspective, were you even holy shit, what he just did to that man?
Yes, definitely, because Roman is a beast. He's a very intelligent, strong fighter, but Fluffy looked unreal, and he's a dog, and that's the end of the day. Fluffy he loves to fight. He comes forward, and he can fight you anywhere. His jiu-jitsu is so good. His grappling's so good, and then he goes in there to beat people's asses. and that's what you love about it. And he could beat anybody out there, and he's in that title picture, and I'm excited to see what he gets next.
Hell yeah. As we transition out of the matchup, Long Island Luke, do we have the video of what a lot of people on, Detective MMA Twitter were trying to decode of that handshake between DDP and Chimaev during fight week?
Nah, we don't have the handshake.
We don't have the handshake. Did you guys see that video of when they approach each other? There are two angles, one from the what's the name of that documentary series, Embedded, and then one from the other side. The first angle did kind of make it seem like Chimaev was taller, but it's just kind of the angle of the video. But is it wrong to look in there and be like, oh, well, DDP looked a little scared? I mean, that's kind of BS. But
yes, I'm not 5.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always funny, when you see your opponent fight week. You shake their hand. You tell them to have a good fight week, and you kind of size them up a little bit. And I think that's what they were doing. They're both shaking their hands, sizing each other up a little bit. And in the end of the day, it doesn't matter. They're gonna both step into that cage and they're gonna fight.
The media just likes playing up that WWE bullshit. Luke is like, enough.
I just hate it. It's like, do you think he's scared? I'm like, I don't actually know.
Luke also won't let us talk about MMA power couples when two fighters, like I'm still not over.
I don't care who is dating who.
I'm not over the Cortez Ortega breakup. Like I'm still in that relationship mentally. Are we ridiculous for that bullshit?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
All right. I'll accept that, though. I mean, there's a reality TV side to this sport.
Yeah, if you have the entertainment palate of a toddler, yes.
Okay. Well, back to this matchup. Obviously, Luke, the central, tension when it comes to the actual X's and O's is not only the wrestling of Chimaev, but particularly the first round. I don't know if you saw that stat on Twitter where they showed how early in the first round he took down every single name for the first time, and it was like 30 seconds, 47 seconds, 15 seconds. It's insane. What can you say about Dricus Du Plessis' takedown offense ability on the ground to try to make the case that him getting finished in round 1 is not going to happen on Saturday?
That's a tough one. So I'm just going to say something up front. I think Chimaev might have the best wrestling shot in the UFC. I mean, the speed, the distance he covers, the level, how low his level can sometimes get. And even if he doesn't get the takedown, he's able to consolidate the position, with a body lock thereafter, right? Like they'll stuff it on the first go, and then he comes up, and then, he's starting to ragdoll him. It's really quite impressive. I just don't think DDP is going to stop that. DDP's been taken down 3 times in the UFC, and I looked at all 3 of them on the train ride up today.
By who?
One was Darren Till, one was Derek Brunson, and one was, I forget the other one.
Whitaker,
that's right. The Whitaker one is the one that's unlike the other 2. The Whitaker one was he took him down, stepping forward off of he got underneath the punches. The other 2, they caught kicks, and that's how they got him down. But there's a common denominator there, which is the guy is offensively open to such a degree that he makes himself available to be taken down.
How's his percentage though? Has he been in a fight where he's been spammed with the takedown?
Not necessarily, no. Khamzat is unlike a lot of other dudes. There's not a lot of Khamzats out there. So to me, it's like that's one consideration, that I just think DDP is just going to make himself so open that he's going to get taken down. The other thing is, if you look at how he tried to get up off of underneath Brunson, he does a lot of like almost Marcelo Garcia stuff, where he tries to push past the elbow and then lift his leg and then kind of hoist himself up. Have you seen those before? Where they push on the elbow to kind of sit up, and that can work on like lower level guys. It doesn't necessarily work on like a really good UFC fighter. So like I think he's going to struggle for a few minutes underneath. I genuinely believe that. But it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Okay, his first attempt at getting up fails. His second one fails. He just keeps trying until one thing breaks through, and I think eventually it will.
It's insane that DDP can be that big for the middleweight division and be a tank and really have an insane cardio gas tank to compete with anybody and outlast anybody. But Chimaev should challenge that, especially if DDP gets taken down a lot, but can get himself back up. What is your confidence level in DDP's ability to stuff the shot, or at least change that, take that away from Chimaev enough where we can turn that back into a kickboxing match?
Watching that countdown, I really think DDP is going to be prepared for that wrestling early. I think, like you said, Luke, he throws those punches and then he gets shot under. So I think maybe you're gonna come out and see DDP a little bit more relaxed in the first round, kind of waiting for Chimaev to spam that low double leg that he shoots, and I think he's gonna be prepared for it. But I also think that there's no way that Chimaev's not gonna get him to the ground. Chimaev's gonna get him to the ground, and DDP's should be working on getting back up to his feet a safe way and not giving up his back. because I think that's the key is being able to get up but not giving up your back, because I think Chimaev will jump on that back and make him pay. But as long as DDP can keep getting up, it's turn it into a dogfight, bring it into those later rounds.
That's when the cardio debate flips aggressively against Chimaev, of course. There's no question about that. How deep is the submission arsenal in Chimaev, who certainly is a rear naked guy, and it's the benefactor of how quickly he gets you not only down, but in a bad position. Do you believe he's shown enough that, like, this could be a problem area for the champion too?
I mean, you don't want to discount it. He doesn't need a million different submissions. Like, I don't think he's the submission guy that Khabib is. Khabib's got chokes and limb manipulation, right? And had triangles too. Remember that?
So fights mean just like Chimaev. Though.
So he had like the Kimura on Michael Johnson. He had the choke over the jaw against McGregor, and then he had, you know, essentially if he wanted the triangle, he could have had it on Justin Gaethje. I don't think he's that. I think, you know, he's got more bread and butter, high percentage stuff. The thing is, I just can't get the Kamaru Usman fight out of my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you've got good enough, if you know, you got to be careful about planting your hands and where your chin is when you're trying to build height and build your base. You know this some sort of better than I do. You got to be careful down there. But it's not to me like Chimaev has such finesse that like any mistake there is fatal. I actually don't think that's quite true. That's why this fight is interesting, right? Because to your point, he's going to get him down. Like, it's going to happen. But after that, it's a little bit of a mystery because Chimaev is deadly, especially through transition. I think that's where he could get in trouble, right? If he tries to scramble up in the wrong way or something. But it's not like he's got lights out submissions. I don't think that's quite right.
But if this turns back into a kickboxing match, if DDP is successful at showing him, you're not going to finish me, I'm starting to stop the takedowns, where does your confidence in Chimaev's cardio end? Because you could make the argument that he didn't have enough to look as dominant in the third round against Usman, that he maybe left the door open a little bit. And he has had like double COVID attacks where he once retired. Like, he's been through the mill physically. You don't know until you get there in rounds 4 and 5, right? What are we going to see? Are you confident that even after a bunch of failed takedown attempts that he's going to have that tank to keep pushing?
You know, it depends on how hard he works on top. You know, when he gets the takedown, he's controlling position, how much ground and pound he's doing, and then how fast DDP can get up and you know, weigh on Chimaev's gas tank on the ground. So, and then once you get up to your feet after the grappling, being able to have your technique still and stick to your game plan, and then Chimaev should be shooting again. I think I'm curious to see how Chimaev looks on the feet against DDP, because DDP, his style is so unorthodox, and it's hard to fight unorthodox guys. So it's going to be interesting for sure.
Luke, who's the weirdest striker either in training or a fight you've ever gone up against? Like, just had a hard time getting a beat on him.
I'll say Aljo. Aljo is so his kicks, his length, he switches stances nice. Aljo's striking is very underrated, and I think I'm excited to see him against Ortega in Shanghai.
Luke, what is that stand-up going to look like when we have those exchanges? Because I feel like the more DDP keeps his back off the mat, it obviously increases his chances of winning. I think it increases the chances that this fight between two alphas will be like a legit fight of the year contender. That's why we're this excited. This could be a freaking classic. But Luke, how does Chimaev's striking compare with that of the champion?
I'd say Chimaev's is deadly. He's very powerful, but it's a little bit more bread and butter, right? A little more traditional. He's got a jab when he wants it. But part of it goes back to like, okay, you've got all these skills. How are you going to use them? For example, like he had a bunch of skills he could have used in the Gilbert Burns fight, but then just fought like a fucking, you know, rabid raccoon or something. You know what I mean? Like he just threw caution to the wind, in which case these questions, this is what I'm just keep saying. Like, I've made this point. I'm not saying that what's going to happen on Saturday is what I'm about to make the comparison to, which was Dan Henderson versus Shogun Rua 1. One of the most insane fights you'll ever fucking see in your life. But one thing I am trying to point out is those two getting together, it just brought out a greater whole. Like it unlocked something. And part of it is, I think Khamzat is more technical and has a jab should he elect to use it. That's what I'll say. But, you know, fucking door knocker still knocks. Dricus Du Plessis, he just keeps knocking on doors until someone answers. You know what I mean?
Also,
Like,
he's got DDP's got a solid calf kick game. That could be something that
he's got. Have you ever noticed he's got? I mean, his knees like bow in when he. Have you noticed that when he stands?
Yeah.
His knees kind of bow in like a little deer, and it's like
and he
I don't
also
know how this
squares
works.
up and throws like combos
And then
like
the
this.
other part too is what about if you're Team Chimaev, you know you have to expect a blitz from him at some point, right? Just the standing blitzes that he does. What would you say would be a good way to handle that? What would you recommend given Khamzat's skill set?
Wrestle. I think he's gonna time those punches, lower his level, shoot that double leg, and wrestle with him. I think Chimaev knows, his path to victory is through his wrestling, through his grappling, and I think he's gonna do that. He's gonna at least try to, and do it for as long as he can. The question is, can he do it for 5 rounds? So that's what we're gonna see.
Yeah.
It looks like Long Island Canelo, right?
Long Island Canelo. Oh shit!
What about that for a nickname? Or maybe the Huntington Bad Boy. I think that it's time.
I'll
that
take both of them.
Okay, I like that a lot.
Tito
right there.
Ortiz was the Huntington Beach.
That's why it
Yeah,
makes
okay.
sense.
All right.
Shout out to Tito right there. Man, I love this fight action. We're gonna see a lot of action in this. We're gonna see a
Long
lot
Island
of
Luke. How
balls
are
and-
you betting this one?
I took DDP at plus money.
I think that's probably a good bet.
That's my pick. That's my bet. I mean, we're getting into the picks now.
Man, I gotta tell you,
until I see him not make that championship adjustment against a guy who I don't want to say he has questions in the cardio, but like you're gonna have to give us the answers. We need the answers, Khamzat. We need you to be able to fight your balls off in 4 and 5 against this gorilla across from you. Legitimately, I'm still backing the champion on plus money. You got to.
Man, I've been backing Du Plessis this whole time, thinking everyone's sleeping on Chimaev, and now fight week is here, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. You go first.
Yeah, well, I've been going back and forth all the time, but like I said, I can't pick against DDP anymore.
Yeah.
I always pick against him, and especially at plus money, the underdog. Like this is a pick 'em fight for me. And
But does it go the distance?
if it, yeah, I think it goes the distance.
Goes the distance. It's going to be a fight of the year contender. It's going to be sick.
I'm gonna go Chimaev.
Because the Boar's Head, the cold cut guy, dude, he is crazy, right?
It's a different Boars, I think.
yeah.
You think Chimaev can beat him if it goes the distance?
What Long Island Luke? What's a Chimaev decision? At?
Yes, but I wouldn't. That's tougher. That's
Yeah.
tougher.
Chimaev.
Hello, we can't hear you.
Sorry, Chimaev by decision is plus 500.
Oh
Wow.
shit! Now that
Yeah.
might be the $5 take a chance bet right there.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
Because you can see it if he's hurting DDP and dropping him.
I mean,
or-
I have. I don't.
but I don't think he's going to
know.
win the striking battle against DDP ultimately. Could they fight
No,
it
you
even
know
terms
what?
for
No,
a while?
fuck
Yes.
that. I'm going to go back on. I'm going to pick DDP. I'm going to.
Yes. Stay with it.
I'm going to pick DDP. I think that I have too many questions about Chimaev's longevity in the course of a fight.
All right. I currently have Khamzat Chimaev, who's undefeated, at number 10 on my CBS Sports pound for pound rankings for whatever that matters or what it's worth. I've got DDP, I think, at 3 or 4. No, Merab at 3, DDP at 4. If Khamzat does the damage to DDP, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a first round submission, but let's say he wins the title and fucking shows you what he's all about. Is he a top 5 pound for pound guy?
Undefeated. If he goes in there and finishes DDP, I think he's definitely in the talks.
Top 5, I don't know. Top 10, I'd consider.
I mean, we got Ilya, we got Islam,
Merab.
we got Merab, and we got DDP. I mean, those are 4 damn studs. But if
Don't
you
disrespect Pantoja, too.
and Pantoja,
Yeah.
and if you pull DDP out of there, does Khamzat slide in and almost take his spot? He might, dude. He might because
I
that
think
will
you need
have, that will have answered the questions we don't have answers to. I guess unless he submits him in the first round, then it doesn't answer all the
Yeah.
questions. But
I don't know about my pick. I really can't.
this is distressing you. This is making you upset.
This is so tough because I just feel like I don't know. I can't. I don't really have a firm pick in this one. I'm going to stick with DDP, but
I
I don't
haven't
know.
seen you that upset since they pulled Kelly Kapowski from that alternate senior season on Saved by the Bell and gave Tori in the black leather jacket. I mean, that was so lame, right?
But
Yeah,
You don't have to. You can just tell him he's a fucking nerd. It's
All right,
okay.
All right. Anything else you guys want to say about the main event? I'm just, I got a phoner as Ryan Bader, or no, I'm sorry, is that as Jack Swagger would
Hager?
say. Yeah, Jake
Who
Hager.
never fought like he fought like 2 times in Bellator and it was like
I'll give him credit. He fought a few times. Kristaps Porzingis wants in, by the way. 7'2" NBA player, Kristaps Porzingis, 30 years old,
yeah, former Washington Wizard.
former Celtic. He wants to take an MMA
Former
fight.
New York Knick.
He wants an MMA fight.
Nice.
That's some skyscraper Struve shit.
You know who also is training out I think in Boston now? Taco Fall,
He's training.
the 7'7" guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not for like serious stuff, just like. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
just to
badass.
fuck around. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking now that we're gonna get into the co-main event, I gotta break into this crystal.
Yeah, we'll break into it.
Yeah. Let's do that shit. All right.
You gonna tell people about your hemorrhoids?
No. Just
That'll put a cure to that, right?
I mean, Luke, how are you doing over there? You put that drink through college, yeah? I
I
mean, Luke, that's all you got in return. All right.
because you're fucking using shit from like when we were drinking beers as teenagers in the woods.
What do you think this show is? This show is dirt holes uniting. Matt, God bless you here.
Cheers.
I'll have more, asshole.
Get in there.
Can I open this one or not?
Yes, please
Yes?
do. That is the Blanco, which is fantastic.
Yes, it is.
The Blanco.
All right, we are going to transition, of course, to our co-main event. And it's not Movsar Evloev. Sorry, I'm going to start to slur my words here. Who, of course, had to pull out late. But Aaron Pico's long-awaited UFC debut is not only a fight we need to see, but now the idea that this is an audition for a title shot is not just an idea. UFC matchmakers love this guy. It was a gift for 28-year-old Aaron Pico to fall out of the PFL sky in the UFC to go, yep, we'll take him and make him what he has the chance to be. But unbeaten late replacement Lerone Murphy is that annoying out, you know what I mean, at the end of this division, who's obviously trying himself to crack the title picture. He said, Lerone Murphy, he's going for the finish, by the way. But Matt, what does UFC potentially have in former Bellator MMA star Aaron Pico?
I think they got a future star. I think Aaron Pico is the real deal. You know, he wrestled his entire life and then he fell in love with boxing, and he's got beautiful body work, and he's got the wrestling to always, have if he needs. But he's got a tough fight right now with Murphy, because Murphy's another undefeated guy, so technical everywhere, such an intelligent fighter, and it's definitely going to be a tough challenge for Pico. But we're going to see if he uses that boxing or if he goes to that wrestling.
Luke, Pico probably should have already gotten his prove it moment. He probably should have fought Patricio Pitbull either in Bellator or PFL, right? Which would have told us a lot more about him. For as much as we harped about those early knockout defeats and the submission in his pro debut in the wrong division, he's 8-1 in his last 9, and the only one was that Jeremy Kennedy fight where he was going to fight until his shoulder fell off, right?
Yeah.
That was an injury
Dislocated,
TKO.
and they were yanking on it. Remember that?
Yeah.
They were yanking on it between rounds.
Do you feel like whether he wins or loses, that the hype is justified for how much we're looking at him with the ripped up abs, looks good in a suit? We're going to get to his trash talk in a minute. Like, I don't think UFC is wrong on being fired the fuck up.
I'm glad the UFC is promoting him like he's the next big thing. In the event that he wins, they can turn around and be like, hey, this guy's great. Let's just fire him to the front of the line. So I want to be clear. I'm not in any way suggesting that the UFC is like doing something wrong by pushing him as hard as they are. It's a good idea. But we should be very clear here. Do I have, because you were there at Bellator NYC. I was there at Bellator NYC. Do I have concerns that guy is going to show up? Somebody who's just overwhelmed by the moment, making bad decisions, or
those knockout losses in a row where he was,
or haunted by the ghost of them. Yes,
in love with his power, kept his chin out.
He got to like 4-3. He got to a real bad place all of a sudden. No, I think that guy has been fixed. But that is a very different question than show me on Pico's resume anybody who is even half as good as Lerone Murphy. And the answer is there isn't a guy. He has never, ever, ever, ever fought a guy this good, not even close. And not only that, listen, if you fight Movsar, it's a tough challenge, but you're not, you don't have to go find him, right? He's going to wrestle you. Like they're going to make contact. Murphy is a touch and go guy. You have to go get him. That is not fucking easy to do. Now, it's on short notice, relatively speaking, short notice, but the footwork, the open cage, dude, I'm telling you, Pico has never proven he could win against a guy like that because he's never fought a guy like that.
This is a hardcore fight, but this is a real-ass fight with storyline stakes. Like, this is a pretty damn good fight. My central tension question to flip it, though, is to ask you, it's a tough question. Does Lerone Murphy lack an extra gear? or is he just too safe at times? Because I believe he's a hot, he's a wild, he's a live dog is what I'm trying to regurgitate here. Which one is it though? Does he not go for it when he needs to, or is he too calculated?
I think he's too safe. He's too smart, and he's good everywhere, and he knows how to win. He's undefeated, and he knows what he needs to do to win. And I think he's gonna know, to, like Luke was saying, stick and move, stay away from those takedowns. And I think he's gonna go out there. He could outpoint him, but I think he does. If he really wants to get in the title picture, he needs to turn it up. He needs to go for the finish. And we'll see if he goes out there and does it.
I mean, Pico's been willing to fight anyone. The fact that he transitioned so quickly from Evloev to Murphy shows you that. We know the push behind him. Luke, he's already talking about, I'm just going to take this guy down and show him exactly what my wrestling is all about. I think the key to his turnaround, couple keys. One, moving to Jackson Wink in New Mexico. Two, finding
and Brandon Gibson in particular.
And then finding the Rocco Siffredi of horses had to boost his ego and his
like
confidence.
A fucking bazooka
in him. So, I mean, have you ever
legs.
seen that? The shit, the Johnson on Pico's horse. You've never seen that, right?
No, I haven't.
I mean, I know it probably makes you uncomfortable that we're bringing this up, but sometimes you gotta clap for the enemy. You know what I mean? Like that. It's impressive as shit. Where were we right here? Luke, what I'm trying to say is,
how do we have sponsors? It makes no sense.
The fact that he's leading with the threat of his wrestling is what's making his striking even more dangerous. Will he have extreme success in your eyes taking down Murphy?
Extreme success. No, I do not think he'll have extreme success. Josh Emmett took him down 4 times and then lost a unanimous decision. Dan Ige took him down and lost a unanimous decision. Gabriel Santos took him down 5 times and lost a decision. Douglas Silva de Andrade took him down and lost the decision. So how about that? He did lose 1 to Zubaira Tugugov in his first fight. This was in 2019. He got taken down 6 times, and it was still a split decision loss. That's the only one. He's got.
That was a draw.
It says here split decision. Oh, you're right. Well, they call it split decision / draw. That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't matter.
Great job, Stat Boy.
The point being is that was early on that might have been a bit of a weakness for him. And it could still be something that he's trying to shore up. Like, of course, I think Pico is a better wrestler. It's not really an issue. But I'm going to say it one more time, dude. It's going to be hard to find this guy. His footwork is part of his takedown defense, right? The fact that he's moving so much and he has good positioning. And I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting one.
You would think, knowing Murphy's history and the potential strengths that he has, that boxing and using movement to make Pico chase is the game plan here. But there is a way to get Pico into a brawl where you can find that self-destruct button. I mean, everyone's got that ability. We saw Khamzat against Gilbert to get lured into the seduction of a brawl. Which game plan do you think ultimately will give Murphy the victory if he pulls the betting upset here?
And another thing is the UFC jitters. Aaron Pico could get in there, co-main event in Chicago of a big UFC pay-per-view. He could go in there and want to just bang. So, I mean, I think that he's got to use that boxing. He's got to be calculated with his shots. He can't just go in there and spam the shots, because Lerone Murphy's movement's going to be so good in the big cage too, the big pay-per-view cage. Pico's got his work cut out of him for his UFC debut. And I think Lerone Murphy is definitely going to go out there and use that movement, use those strikes, and mix it up enough to stay on the feet and try to edge out a decision.
Yeah, a lot of edging talk over here. It's interesting. Do you think if you add that extra gear to Murphy that sometimes we criticize him for not showing in a situation maybe where he's in control of a fight, if you add that, is he a threat to stop Pico? Do you believe him when he says, I'm going to go in there for the finish?
No, I don't believe him. No. I mean, it could happen. MMA's wild and Pico's been stopped, I realize, but that doesn't seem to me like the most likely of things to happen. Couldn't rule it out. Not ruling it out, but no, I don't really think that. I think the issue is, is Pico going to be able to use his wrestling enough to get a win, or is the stick and move of Lerone Murphy, or, the scramble up, the wrestle up, is that going to be the decisive factor? That's really what we're asking.
All right, we're going to get into Pico's title chances here, and I think, by the way, he's getting the title shot. No, any form of a victory here, because it's
even if he ekes it out?
Even if he ekes it out, because this is such a fertile opportunity for a division that needs it. They
28
just had
years
2
old.
big stars leave in Holloway and Topuria, and maybe they're kind of lucky that Volkanovski was able to get back to the top of the throne, and it really gives you a sellable name. This is the exact guy that you would want on this path. Before we get there, though, Long Island Luke, what are the current DraftKings odds for this co-main event?
Got plus 140 for Murphy, minus 166 for Pico.
Okay, so those are getting a little closer. I saw Pico in the minus 220 area. Long Island Luke, do you have an angle on the betting on this one? Because I'm believing more in the idea that Pico gets a breakthrough stoppage to announce himself than Murphy doing things that he doesn't normally do.
I think Murphy probably wins the decision. I did take Murphy money line plus money. But,
So you think he probably wins? You're not just talking about betting angles
yeah,
here.
I could see it being 29-28. Maybe a close decision, but I think Murphy gets it done.
Are you backing that?
Yeah, I am backing that. I mean,
Ooh,
it's
you
not that
you guys are not believing that the Raw dude. This kid is ready to explode, man.
Yeah, I do think that's right, and I do think. Listen, I'm not necessarily questioning the full upside of Pico. That's really not what I'm saying. But his last fight was in February of 2024. We're not even talking about the fact that he's been off for a while. Not his fault altogether. Things happen, but that's just where he's at. And again, I'm going to say it one more time, dude. Look at the fucking record. Who on there is even remotely as good?
Okay, but
as
they're not
Lerone
cab
Murphy?
drivers, right?
What do you mean?
The Pico opponents?
No, they're not cab drivers, but they're a tier or two down. They're, we're talking about, dude, this is SEC football, and he's been fighting.
Okay.
He's been fighting, Florida Atlantic. I mean, it's not the same thing, right? I'm not trying to be dick about Florida Atlantic, but it's a different ball game when it's Alabama or UGA. That's not different.
Yeah, he's getting thrown into a co-main event UFC pay-per-view as well.
Wow, I'm shocked. All three of you are picking.
Well, no.
Murphy.
So let's put it back on you. What is it
yes.
that gives you confidence? And what I say by that is, yes, all the things we talked about. Does he look like he's in insane shape? Yes. Can he wrestle? No fucking question. Does he have that left hook to the liver is just fucking money? Fine. But it's all against, it's against University of Nebraska at Lincoln, or whatever the fuck. It's not against the fucking real deal.
Look, the doubts against him, I'm not missing any of them. I totally understand it. But he was the most hyped prospect of all time for a reason. He was the National High School Wrestler of the Year. He went the stories of going into Freddie Roach's gym and sparring Miguel Cotto on like somewhat even terms. We know what the hell this guy brings to the table. I think he has fixed.
I don't think we do.
I think he has fixed what is broken within him. So I don't have the confidence that he would implode. He doesn't have to implode to lose here. He could just get out technicaled by a brilliant game plan from Lerone Murphy. He can win it while still showing himself. I just think the upside on him is so real. I think we've seen flashes of that full potential come out in some of these Bellator wins, even if it's against B- opposition at best. Fine. I know we've seen different Bellator guys come in and some exceed our expectations and some, not live up to it. I think Patricio Pitbull, even though he's 37, kind of had that in his UFC debut, although he redeemed that last time. This kid can knock you out at any time. So if he's down 2.5 rounds here, I'm still believing that there's chances for him, whether it's mauling ground and pound, whether it is needing to rally for a KO, or just going to the body and taking control and slowing Murphy down and then mixing in those takedowns to give you an honest points win where he shows everything he's got. This is an opportunity for a coming out party to go into a Volkanovski fight with hype and potential, even though I understand that most of the audience will not have known his full story. He has the chance to be impressive as shit. And I think that overrides the fears or doubts we have about who really is in there.
Yeah, you didn't answer my question, but that's fine.
Yeah, but it was like the feels
you
that I
gave
gave.
me an impassioned plea for why you have confidence, which I think is totally
vibes, bro.
Yes, which
All
is
right?
it's totally fine. It's totally fine. And again, if he plays it smart and he's pressuring Murphy up against the fence where he's going to be able to like land some of the hooks to the body or more easily set up a takedown, it's his fight for the taking at that point. But I just want to be clear. What you're talking about is reasons for full-on career optimism. I share. And I also completely agree. I'm not worried about him imploding. That's really not where I'm at.
Okay, but then add in the real truth.
But
Part
it's
of it is
the
I'm
step
underwhelmed.
up.
I'm underwhelmed by Lerone Murphy. I was also underwhelmed and wronged by Leon Edwards, and he showed us in the Usman rematch that he can fucking pull it out and that he was legit pound for pound for a couple fights. I was wrong on that one. I don't think Lerone Murphy is going to take it to that next level enough to expose him. And if he does, I think he's going to get knocked out trying. That's what I'm really saying, Luke. Let's put the real talk on the line like Cuervo do.
It's certainly possible. I just think if you want me to believe truly in Pico being ready now, he's got to prove it against an A-class opponent. And this is the first A-class opponent he's ever had.
Let's go.
Yeah,
So
That's the intrigue,
see.
though. Just like not knowing exactly what Khamzat will look like in rounds 4 and 5, the things that we don't know about this Pico fight is partially what makes it so attractive and exciting. And also, he's planting a damn seed for the future. So much so now, and he was reactionary to the champion, Alexander Volkanovski, that we had to call up Cuervo because I think there were just some shots being fired. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Of course, this segment brought to you, shots fired by Cuervo. Now is a good time to enjoy the tequila that invented tequila. We are enjoying it just fine. Here is Alexander Volkanovski on Fox Sports Australia, escalating the growing sort of back and forth between them.
I would honestly, it excites me because I reckon I'd crumble him in the wrestling department. He might be good for 1 takedown, 2 takedowns. If he even gets me down, I'm straight back up. Watch him not wanting to, clinch up anymore after that. His best bet is to obviously try and land a big shot. Other than that, I'm up the floor with him.
Oh, he's got Lerone Murphy to deal with in the meantime.
Exactly right. That's what I mean. I'm sitting there trying to amp myself up, getting ready. But at the same time, he needs to do work. And he's in a position now where, I'm more talking about this because I need someone, right? If it's going to be him, let's start putting the feelers
Just
out.
starting beefs with everybody.
Start a little bit of a beef, get people sort of ready for it because it might happen after this weekend. We don't know. But in saying that, I'll take it. I really will take it serious after I see what I think he's got a tough fight ahead of him this weekend. Murphy, when it comes to strategy, game planning and all that sort of stuff, very safe fighter. If he can get through him and blast.
Good shit there from the folks at Fox Sports Australia. Now, do you believe him, or is he just trying to rightfully so, trying to build that storyline and build that beef between them?
That's what you want to see out of a champion. You want a champion who says he's going to mop the floor with anybody, any contender coming, and that's he needs contenders, and that's what he's doing. He's in there talking his talk, and you love to see that out of a champion. Who I want to see it. I want to see that fight, But again, whoever comes out, they need a finish. I want Murphy to really go out there and go for it. I want him to, he can fight safe, he can win a decision, but I want him to go for it. Either go broke and get the finish, or he goes for it and then Pico will make him pay for it. And if he goes for it, I think Volkanovski is going to have a very good contender next in line.
I agree with you. Luke, when I say do you believe Volkanovski, I meant do you think he believes his wrestling would really take over against Pico's wrestling?
On the defensive side, yeah, I do think he thinks that. Mm-hmm. Well, he should.
He's great.
He's at this level. He's as battle tested as it fucking gets. I mean, he's proven how good he is. There's no question about it. So yeah, I think he thinks everything he's saying. Mm-hmm.
Well, now Luke, please tell me we have video of Aaron Pico's rebuttal.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we talked to Matt about this. You've not seen this.
No.
Take a gander at this shit, bro.
Teams you have got Alexander Volkanovski's attention. I know you said to Fox Sports Australia you would knock him out. He replied to that. I don't know if you heard it. He said, I reckon I'd crumble him in the wrestling department. His best bet is to try and land a big shot. Other than that, I mop the floor with him. So I guess what's your response to that? And at least you have his attention, it seems.
Well, it would be 5 rounds. So I think I'm going to land a left hook or a right hand so I can put him out. But I'm the new guy in this organization, and I'm just going to be upfront, and to have his attention, that's a good thing. But I have to take care of Lerone Murphy. That's all I'm focused on. But Volkanovski, has it coming. Yeah, he's not an easy guy to fight, and I'm aware of that. And I look at who he's fought as far as the high-level wrestlers. He's never fought a high-level wrestler like me. And your time is coming.
Are you happy to almost take a little longer, get your feet wet in the UFC, experience this stage a bit more? Or are you ready, hey, if he calls me out, I'm fighting Volkanovski as soon as possible?
No, Volkanovski, we win this fight, we fight Volkanovski. Why am I gonna go through the ringer and take fight these guys?
Your reaction to that?
Whoa.
Hey, he's confident, and he's dialed in. He just had a amazing fight camp. He's fight week. He's cutting weight. His confidence is through the roof.
Guys, he's a fucking gaucho, and how can you not see that the fact that he had to wait through the PFL Bellator merger and was mishandled, it's building a callus on him. I know he can be lured into a brawl and he can get got.
I don't care.
But that's not the same guy
That's not my
anymore.
argument. My argument is not.
So you think he can get outpointed ultimately?
Yes, that's my concern is him being just hit and then fucking Murphy's gone like a fart in the wind. Yes, that's my problem.
You don't see that next level, like it's time, and he knows it's fucking time, and he's carrying himself like a damn.
BC, will is important, but it's not really the will that wins championships.
Sometimes you smell that musk, and that's all you need to know.
I'm gonna fart in your mouth.
I'm talking about a real man, all right?
He's going to be out there with something to prove. And I think that's going to bring out the best in him. And he wants the title. You know, he knows that he's the new guy. You know, nobody really knows him. He doesn't, nobody respects him. But I think he's going to go out there and he wants to finish Murphy and get that title fight. He's got confidence through the roof. He's prepared. He's been training his entire life. He's a wrestler from when he was a baby. So I think he knows the time is now. And he's going to bring it. And like you said, I think Murphy can outpoint him. That's his. Murphy can jab, move, defend those takedowns, outpoint him. And you hope that Pico doesn't blow smoke out of his nose and just come forward and get all pissed off and throw caution to the wind.
No, he's got to be calculated. He's got to be. But dude, there's a demeanor around him that is like mean right now.
Well, he's got mean ground and pound. I mean, that's one thing I will say for him. If he gets Murphy down and Murphy's stuck for any amount of time, he's gonna get drilled. That's a real thing. So not a submission threat. Pico's not much of a submission threat, but he's definitely a heavy ground and pound threat. He's gonna have to use it. If he gets Murphy down, you got to make it count. Really hurt him. Even with the idea that like, okay, I can only hold him down for 90 seconds, right? I got 90 seconds to just drill this dude. Let it happen, and then if he gets up, he gets up. But like. What? Pause.
No,
I got 90 secones to have sex with him in front of everyone. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying to really score meaningful ground and pound. That's your window. Let's see what he does. Let's see what he does.
All right.
See what he does.
I mean, it has to be said, if Hunter Campbell reportedly is a huge Pico stan and they're ready to give him the opportunity, but he would deserve it if he gets past Lerone Murphy here, should you push behind the scenes of your Pico's team to allow him to ride that horse down the ramp, for the introduction?
Remember the horse that bit me, Jake Paul's horse?
Yes, but his horse, is Safredian. His horse has a, if you got a big, let me search that. Maybe it'd be issues.
Are you going to jerk off this horse?
Maybe there would be issues with the horse shitting, but imagine how badass that'd be if that horse came up the ramp into the cage and reared up and he just...
Can you believe the amount of time he thinks about horses' cocks?
Hey, it's a good flex for Pico if he could do that.
Please, okay? I mean, I know it's cool when the bow and arrow comes out and Pereira does that dance. I mean, I love the heritage and the roots in it, but this is cooler. Thank you very much. Hey, let's get further on down the line, and I love this main card. And part of that is just the all action we expect we're going to get from this welterweight tilt when the veteran Jeff Neal welcomes a Carlos Prates who was 4-0 with 4 stoppages in the UFC. Then we saw a little bit of humbling against Ian Machado Gary, although he almost repaired it in the end. And this fight is so good that our breakdown of it is brought to you by Total Wireless, the official wireless provider of the UFC. Get unlimited data that won't slow you down. Now, fellas, Jeff Neal is always going to have a puncher's chance. He's battle-tested. He is coming off a TKO injury win over the legend RDA, but he had lost 2 fights before that coming in. He has been up and down at times. Is the narrative of this fight, Matt, really about can Carlos Prates pick up the pieces from the Gary loss where he said, I wasn't listening to my coach's game plan. I didn't execute how I needed to. Is this fight really about whether we find out if Prates is for real?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's with those fighting nerds. They're very analytical. They're very, coaching heavy, and he said that he wasn't listening to his corner. So we're gonna see if he can definitely pick those pieces up and fight smart. But hands of steel, Neal, like Jeff Neal, I love that nickname. That's one of my favorite nicknames. And he does. He's got hands of steel. His boxing is beautiful.
He's cold when he needs to be in there, man.
Oh yeah, he's a mean fighter, and he's high level. I think that it's a great matchup. It's gonna be a great stand-up fight. And somebody's getting knocked out.
Look, amazing that Ian Gary beat both of them.
I know. Yeah. It was a split decision for Gary against Neal, just like the Prates fight became closer than it looked like it was going to be through 3.5 rounds. In the end, do you take? You don't take pluses from Prates' loss to Ian, but because he rallied against Machado Gary, and because now he's saying the right things. By the way, he's also saying that he's still smoking cigarettes and it's helping with his weight cuts. Are you expecting a big bounce back here? Like basically, if you beat Jeff Neal, you're pretty much ready for that top 5.
You've got a very different opponent than Ian Gary. Jeff Neal, again, he is technical and he is a good fighter. I certainly agree, but he's definitely going to come forward, right? You would agree with that? he's gonna be in your face, and so I think Prates is gonna be, for the most part, that's gonna. I don't know if that's gonna make it. I don't know. I'm not saying that's gonna make Prates win. What I am saying is that's what Prates wants in order to get the win. He wants someone who's gonna come to him, and then they can duke it out. That's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get two fucking dudes duking it out.
How wild is it to smoke cigarettes as a I mean, athletes have done that. It wasn't just like 1950s NBA. Like Vlade Divac used to go to the locker room for, it's a European culture thing. But is it insane in fighting, or could more guys, get away doing that?
No, it's insane. I don't know how he does it. I mean, I want to fight in November, and I'm already stopped smoking blunts now.
Yeah, we were making him shoot tequila here. You know what I mean? But it was good. It was good.
It is good. Yes.
I mean, that's got to rob from the cardio. So does he just have sick cardio to begin with then?
Maybe he does it while he trains, so he's just used to it. He's adapted to it. And
have you been to Thailand?
I have.
I've heard some of those old Thai trainers smoke cigarettes, but then they get out there and they can just run forever.
Yeah, there's a culture in distance running
Is
of
that
people
true?
that get high.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
you have to be able to get around it, right? I mean, NBA players say they're high all season.
I think that everybody's body's different. Everybody adapts different. If he's doing it throughout his training and he's feeling good, then I guess that's what he does. I think he's figured out his right amount of cigarettes with his training, right amount of cigarettes to help his weight cut. Maybe he utilizes it in an effective way.
He doesn't look like he gasses, right? Not
No,
terribly.
that's not the issue. And he had much more gas laid against Ian Machado. Gary, do you look back and say could have, should have finished Gary? Or is like we got?
There was one good window where he had a shot, but like, dude, if a 25-minute fight, if you got like one good window, you need like 3 or 4 good windows. You know what I mean? Like, so he had a moment, but not enough.
Do you ever gas out in a fight? I mean, does it feel helpless?
I always tell everybody, every single fighter gets tired in a fight. Everybody gets tired in a fight, but it's who is comfortable there, who can keep their technique, who can fight through it. Like I always say, me and Billy Q, like I'll smoke Billy Q in any race, in any competition, in any like lifting and any kind of thing. But when we're in there sparring, he just spars for rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds. Cardio is just as much mental as it is physical, because everybody's tired, but it's who's comfortable there, who can keep fighting when they're tired, that they're known for having good cardio.
I have good cardio as a podcaster and announcer.
As a masturbator.
Okay, that's very aggressive. All right, the strawweight division, not where it used to be fair, at the moment, in terms of top 10 depth. I'm talking from a fighting standpoint. Long Island Luke, what are the odds here for this Jeff Neal, Carlos, as Luke would say, a Prashisha fight?
I mean, that's not what I would say.
Jeff Neal plus 200, Prachicha minus 245.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Well, Prates, do you look at him as a future title contender? I know you don't know yet, but you don't look at him as
No, he's not. I mean, dude, you've got fucking Sean Brady, Rachmanov, Ian Gary. You got JDM up there. Here comes Islam. You got, Jeff Joaquin Buckley's not far behind. Kamaru's still making.
Did you say Michael Morales too?
No. Morales is not far either. Yeah, dude, welterweight is a murderer's fucking row at the top.
Yeah.
Prates is good. He's dangerous. I'm not dismissing him, but he's not those guys. No.
You think Ian Gary wins the title at welterweight?
I think he's got what it takes. He could. He's got the skill, but I think he's got to stay focused. Like seems like his mind's like everywhere. Like all the promotion, all the things that he does on social media and stuff. If he can really dial in and focus, he's got the skill.
I can't figure out if he has too much reality TV drama in his life, or if he thrives because of having too much reality TV drama in his life. You know what I mean? Luke, you know what I'm saying? It's a legit question. I'm not asking you about the relationship necessarily. I'm just saying.
I think his promotional, yes, he's lifted promotionally by it. I think that is true, but I don't know if it actually makes his game better.
It is badass when he comes out to Layla by Derek and the Dominoes,
Is it?
Luke, you need to respect that man, okay? I became team.
I'm not the one who's obsessed with his fucking personal life.
I fell into becoming a Ian Machado Gary believer. I'm sorry.
The only way to be obsessed with his personal life is if you don't have one, right? That's the only way.
I mean, I have one. But they're not.
Yeah, but how good is it?
Well, it's very basement heavy. Fortnite, Final Records.
I mean, everyone's got one,
Delta
but most of them don't
yeah.
have a very good one.
I got a recliner that's ruining my.
You got to be a
real
real fucking loser to care about his life.
Fair point. Long Island Luke, from a betting angle, we going back big on Prates or what?
Nah, so I stayed away from the money line. I took over 1.5, which is a little risky in a parlay. I will say, though, I like Jeff Neal at plus money in this fight.
I don't know.
Yeah, so do I.
Really?
Right? Especially like a spread bet, dude. Jeff Neal to win 1 round or something.
Why?
I think people sleep on Jeff Neal. I think he's got hands of steel. You know, he's only lost to really tough fighters.
Very true.
He's in every fight, and I love his boxing. I love the way he fights. Like you said, he comes forward, and that's just gonna make for an awesome fight because Prates comes forward as well. I think they're both gonna throw down, and Jeff Neal can definitely finish him. And at underdog money, I like all the underdogs on this card, honestly.
Oh shit. Head over on down to the window.
I
Let's
agree.
go.
I agree 100%. I think every underdog on the main card is a live dog. All 5 of them.
So that would be DDP. That would be Lerone Murphy. And in this case, that would be Jeff Neal. Interesting stuff right there. I still like Prates. I don't know if he's going to get the knockout, but this is the fight where he's got to put it all back together. I believed in the things he said. He said, I got too caught up in the Gary fight, and he wasn't following the game plan. And he also said what needs to be said more is like there's part of Gary's game, the distance management, the defense, that makes it really hard. He almost caught up and got here. This is the really hard fight to correct that wrong, get back in line. Man, I feel like I'm saying that about everybody, but I believe in Pico. I believe in Prates. All right, so all PP right there. Luke, anything else you want to say on that? Because it's getting weird. Right now.
No.
All right. On down the card, we go to the middleweight division. I freaking love this fight, even though it's 2 gold guys going together, and I'm not even sure you can talk me into there being any stakes here. But Michael Venom Page at 38 years old can still do it in a big way. And he gave Sharball his first defeat last time in his middleweight debut. He's talked about he knows his spot in the rankings. He knows it's going to be hard for him to get a big fight at welterweight. He's 1-1 at welterweight since coming to the UFC, that loss to Ian Gary. And now he's going to go in there against a Jared Cannonier at 41, who's coming off a brawl with Hobo Cop where he sent him to hell. And now he's like, I'm broke and I need to buy my mom a house. Don't mess with this guy because think about it. I used to say Cannonier got pretty darn elite, title challenger, but he was a little too technical at times when I wanted him to let that shit go. As an older fighter now, he's letting that shit go. This against the striking of MVP, I'm knocking shit over, Luke. This is going to be a sneaky, great entertainment bout for 3 rounds. Come on.
Michael Page at 85 has been very surprising to me. He's still fast. He's still accurate. He's still got all the swag that he always competes with. And then you got Cannonier, who I left for the dead on the side of the road after that Izzy loss. And, he's had some tough fights since then, but has kind of, to your point, BC, put himself back together again a little bit here. It's kind of, by hook or by crook. He's in relevant spots, and I think he's definitely the more powerful of the two. The question you have to ask yourself is a 40-year-old Cannonier, what kind of speed and reflexes does he have relative to what Michael Page has?
You're right.
And I don't think he's got the speed. So what is Cannonier going to do? Probably going to try and kick out the legs. You might see some wrestling.
I don't want him to do what he did against Izzy, and this is kind of a similar matchup, even though it's at different times, is I don't want him to wait on the outside and try to land that perfect counter shot.
You'll get beat to the punch every time. Mm-hmm.
But is it going to go really bad for him if he throws caution to the wind like he was forced to do against Gregory Rodriguez and try to corner Page and make this more of a brawl?
I think that's what he needs to do. MVP is so fast. I love watching him fight. Like his karate style is his movement, his strikes he's so fast. He's so accurate. And I think Cannonier has to turn it into a dogfight, make it dirty in there. I think that's his best chance at winning.
The 2 fights before the Hobocop comeback was a decision loss to Kyle Bohalio, a TKO loss to Nasruddin Imavov, but wasn't there an injury related or something?
Well,
I'm not explaining it away.
It wasn't an injury. It was just a late finish, and it was arguably questionable.
I remember that moment, yes. But we then 2 fights before that, he beat Sean Strickland and Marvin Vettori back-to-back.
No, that Strickland fight was nubs as shit.
It was like some Dan Henderson versus Rashad type nubs, right? It was just some weird shit.
So terrible.
But I'm not saying he's the best version of himself right here. But I think he's still got more, especially if he's going to lean into trying to be violent. MVP's never going to be an easy style. But I don't hate Cannonier by upset knockout here. I really don't. Or I don't know. What is the line, Long Island? Please.
It's plus 164 Cannonier, minus 198.
Okay, that's where
MVP.
I expected it to be. Am I crazy here on plus Kill a Gorilla money to get the KO?
No, I don't think you are. I mean, I like Cannonier. He seems like a very interesting guy, like with his crystals, right? He likes.
You got to believe in those crystals.
He likes the crystals. So
yes,
maybe
he believes in the power of rocks.
Yes.
Apparently. I don't quite get it, but
you know, maybe he got another special crystal to get him on point for this fight. But again, I think he needs to make it a dog fight. Like if you're trying to strike from range with MVP, you're gonna lose. You know, MVP's too fast. He's too technical. He's got too much of a karate style with his kicks and his punches and his
timing is weird too.
His timing is beautiful. So I think Cannonier's gotta get in his face. Maybe shoot some takedowns, just turn it into a dogfight. And at 41 years old, does he have that in him?
Does he have the stamina to keep pushing? It's not going to be one shot that gets it done, but if you do bully Page, you can find an opening.
Yes.
But it's got to be leg kicks. It's got to be things that'll slow and wear him down. You're right.
Yeah.
I love this fight. Yeah.
I mean, if MVP has time and space to move, you're fucked.
Right.
You got to take that away.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I'm believing in Cannonier. Long Island, you back me on that? Come on.
Again, I'm taking the over 1.5, but I actually like prediction. I'll go MVP by decision.
Yeah, I'm going MVP on this one.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way, another guy, been up and down since he came to the UFC, but definitely a good addition from Bellator to the UFC roster.
He's going through his Kung Lee portion of his career, only without the class action lawsuit. That's okay. We're on to something. Hey, we open this card with another good fight at flyweight as Kai Asakura, who came in with that big UFC debut in a title shot against Alexandre Pantoja, will finally come back here, the Japanese superstar, the all-action fighter, in a very good matchup against 38-year-old Tim Elliott, who's always got that funky style on the ground, is a dog when he needs to be. And oh, by the way, Tim Elliott's won 3 of 4 at 125, the only loss being a submission against Mohamed Mokaev in 2023, who's not even here right now. So I feel like this could be a firecracker type opening bout, high speed, a lot of things going on. But Luke, do you think Elliott is just a tough veteran old out, or he's live in this fight?
He's crafty as shit. He's super crafty. And a couple things about him. He can find the back, which I think is going to make him a real big problem. Got good wrestling. He's fought, Demetrius Johnson and the best that, I know this is not a 125 fight, but I'm just saying he's fought a lot of really, really tough, battle-tested guys.
This is a 125 fight.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. He used to be a 35er as well. Sure. I apologize. But you get my point. Like, he's definitely been, he's fought really good guys. My only concern, and by the way, also, Tim Elliott has gone on the record and been like, I'm going to cheat until the ref stops me. And honestly, I don't blame him. Like,
grab the cage.
It's the fucking way the sport goes. Putting that aside, Asakura is, I think, a little bit younger, and I definitely think a little bit more athletic, and I definitely think a much heavier hitter. So it's a tough challenge, but it's doable for a guy like Tim Elliott, who has really fought very, very credible opposition.
Matt, before we go forward, we almost celebrate, whether it's pitchers in baseball or crafty boxers like Bernard Hopkins, when you can effectively cheat in strategical ways, like, John Stockton in the NBA, known for pushing and grabbing, and he got away with it. Do fighters strategize little, boundary pushing to try to gain an edge? And is there are there experts in that field in the game that you see?
No, I don't think so. But I mean,
the referees would allow it though, Luke.
They would.
I always say, you get picked up, if you could grab the cage, you usually get a warning. You most of the time get a warning. At least I say that in sparring whenever I grab the cage. I'm like, come on, I get a warning.
But if somebody ball kicks you, you have that one get out of jail free card if you need like a break or something, right?
Oh yeah, if you need, you kick him in the nuts, my bad, get a little breather. So.
Luke, you're a former bouncer. In bar, street fight, unspoken etiquette, is a ball kick survival, or is it,
Usually never comes to that.
Even if you third world someone?
Usually back of the pants and then like scruff of the neck or like the back of the collar.
But like, is it respectable in a manly sense?
Oh, in a bar fight? Yeah, whatever goes. Yeah, no, 100%.
Take that eye out.
Yeah,
John Fury style.
You can Three Stooge them. You can do the whole bit.
They test you at the local bars in Huntington? They don't test you.
No, they don't test me.
Yeah. But do you ever feel like you have that hidden superpower, or maybe they don't recognize you? They think you're just like
the cauliflower ears give it away.
They think
right?
you work at the liquor store.
Let's show the crowd your ears. Let's see your ears. Yeah, look, you got motherfuckers got dumplings.
You ain't putting
AirPods
AirPods in there, bro. But that's a badge. That says something. So you get that respect look, even if they don't know you, right?
Yeah, I do. But every once in a while, like years ago, people would say stuff, and I would laugh at people because they just have no clue. The untrained person out there, especially with a couple drinks in them, They think they're unstoppable, but they just don't know. That's why you got to get them in a gym, and if it's people that train, you get humbled so quick.
For cardio above anything
The
else.
average
right?
donk seems to think that like fighting is some way to channel emotional energy, and I'm like, it's a skill.
You're like, you
It's
just
a
hate
fu-
women.
it's a fucking
That's what
trade.
yeah.
It's like calling up a plumber and being like, I can fix this faster than you. There's no fucking way you can do that.
No,
you know?
Sheeta, you need to infiltrate yourself in the Frevola mafia and then get them to go out to a bar, run your mouth out of control in public,
Yeah,
and then
and
be
then
like,
just get them to
Steamroller's got
clean up
it.
your dirty work.
And Cheese Roller's right behind him. All right, let's
See,
go.
Matt's being humble though. This guy's got pictures up all around town with his photo in every place, so everyone knows Matt
All
in
right,
town.
there you go. That's the man. You don't pay for a drink in that town, and I love that. Kai Asakura,
He's good.
31 years old. Fun as shit, right?
Yeah, man, and I'm always rooting for the
Big puncher.
Japanese guys. I like the Japanese, the samurai fighters, and I'm hoping that he can go out there and really get a big finish to get back in like a title picture of a division that really needs it. But Tim Elliott is a veteran, man. He's been through. He's fought everyone. He's good everywhere.
I loved his performance against Demetrius Johnson, obviously in a loss after he won the tough tournament, but he was difficult in that shit.
He was in it.
He was big. Demetrius had he was more skilled than him, but like the size, and he knows how to use his size too. And the weight cut's gotten better for him to go to 25. Like, he's a tough out.
He's a crafty vet.
Is that weird? Does divorce Twitter beef thing over with?
Once again, I don't give a
No,
fuck.
but like if a fighter's going through some personal shit, it's going
Yes,
to
if
change
they're in the middle of a
something.
divorce, I do think that's a relevant thing to think about. Yes.
I'm saying, is that behind him now? So maybe we're going to come and have another run.
I mean, he beat Sumaderji. Like, he's got a win under his back.
Let's go.
or
Hey,
under
you
his belt.
taking the underdog here, Luke?
I'm not officially, but I was saying I like every underdog on this. I'm taking the over 1.5 in this as well. But dude, Tim Elliott point spread. We haven't seen Kai Asakura beat anyone in the UFC yet. I don't trust.
He's
him
had one
yet.
fight against a champion.
Yeah,
but come on.
it still counts.
But Kai Asakura obviously has a decorated record from Japan. Was fresh off of that Juan Archuleta title win before
Yes.
he came to the UFC. So
Right.
we're going to see.
He can punch.
I think he certainly has a great chance to bounce back here, Tim. But great matchmaking. So shout out to the UFC in that one. That's your main card. Before we look at the the cherries to pick there out of things that should be entertaining on the prelims and early prelims, I want to get you fired up here for DraftKings Pick 6 because UFC 319 is going to be on fire. You already know that this morning Kombat episode is presented by DraftKings. The crown, of course, is yours. But you can download the DraftKings Pick 6 app right now and get in on the action this Saturday as well. Please use our code KOMBAT with a K, and new customers can play $5. Get this. You get $50 in bonus picks instantly. You ride the upside where a few bucks can turn into a bag. You know what I'm saying? Only on DraftKings Pick 6 where the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as a non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus. Picks that expire in 14 days on August 24th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promo. Speaking of Pick 6, you know how you do it. You pick two or more fighters and you go two or more categories there. And we're looking on the over-under, so to speak, more or less. Right now, as we look at DraftKings Pick 6 on the app, Khamzat Chimaev for total takedowns, more or less 3.5 against DDP in the main event.
Give me more. I think he's going to get more.
Yeah, I think more.
Okay, what about in that co-main event?
That's
Aaron
3.5. Like that can cover the full 25 minutes,
Yes,
right?
it can.
Give me the over.
I'm giving the over. I'm taking that as well. How about Aaron Pico here in the 3-round fight against Lerone Murphy?
Okay.
2.5 takedowns. He
Ooh.
said he's going to lead with that wrestling.
That's a tougher one, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm gonna say over.
I like
gonna
the
say
over
over.
on that one as well. And if you look at the strikes here, particularly in this
So it
main
doesn't
event,
matter what he does with them. He just has to collect them.
more or less in any category there. And you pick
So Josh Emmett, who's a good wrestler, not Pico, but he's a good wrestler, dynamite puncher. He got 4 in 25 minutes. Man, that's a tough one.
That is.
I'll take the under.
All right, let's talk quickly about that MVP versus Cannonier fight. The more or less on total strikes for MVP, 51.5 over 3 rounds. You going more or less for Michael Venom Page against Cannonier?
More. I think MVP is gonna touch him up.
I'm with you on that. I like that bet a lot. Luke, what about quickly to close on this main event? When you look at significant strikes, they have the more or less DDP, 68.5 the more or less on Chimaev, 54.5. We go 5 rounds, we can get the over on both of those here, right? Or am I asking too much in this matchup?
If you go full 5, I definitely would take the over on both. But that part's hard to know, right? I mean, because it could be a 1-round fight. It could be a 1-fucking-round fight. But if it goes to full 5, I would take the over on both.
Yeah, if you think you know better, download that DraftKings Pick 6 app today. Let's do it. Use our code KOMBAT with a K. All right, folks, when we look for a few minutes here to close out on the prelims and early prelims, Luke, I'll let you pick off the menu first. We lose King Green in that fight against Carlos Diego Ferreira. That looks like the new featured prelim is a middleweight bout between GM3 Gerald Meerschaert and Michal Oleksiejczuk. What is the prelim or early prelim that you're most focused on?
Very interested to see this kid from the Contender Series again, Baysengar Sursakayev. But that's not my pick. My official pick is, how about Chase Hooper and Alexander Hernandez? That is a fun one. By the way, your division, if memory serves. Alexander Hernandez been up, down, looks the part physically. Chase Hooper.
He has the curse of calling him Cowboy Dad, right?
The day drinking Don.
Yeah.
Day drinking Don is what he called, which, by the way, was a good zig, but it didn't work out too well.
No.
But however, Chase Hooper to me is the more interesting factor here. Chase Hooper was, I thought, very physically undersized when he first got to the UFC, and skills not really where it needed to be. But lo and behold, as he's gotten a little bit older, he's filled out. I think the game is really starting to mature. I'm loving what I'm seeing from him. Hernandez, tough out for him. I fully recognize. But I love that contest. Your division, what do you think about these two?
Yeah, Chase has really grown into like a full fighter now. You know, he came out at 145. I think he started out, and he was young getting into the UFC. And now he's filled out at 155. He's on a roll. I want to say he's on like a 4-fight winning streak. And he's got elite jiu-jitsu. Like there's no doubt that he wants to get it to the ground and he wants to use that jiu-jitsu. But his striking is starting to look very good,
it's awkward too, right?
Yes,
you know, a lot of looping shots, but they land.
Rangy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but with that jiu-jitsu, I think he could beat anybody.
Well, he's not a good 25 years old. You mentioned how he basically came as a teenager, 5 wins in a row, and he's been escalating from Slava Claus to Clay Guida to Jim Miller. So he's ready to take on more challenges. This is a tough challenge. Long Island Luke, what are the odds on this featured early prelim?
Let me see quick, guys. Chase Hooper is minus 325.
Wow.
Alexander Hernandez plus 260.
I understand that.
Yeah.
And Chase Hooper's long as shit for this division too.
Oh
right?
yeah.
You could end up fighting him.
Yeah. I like that fight. I wouldn't let that nerd beat me up.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what we expect on this show right there. Let's
That's
go.
awesome.
I mean, you would say, look, the steamroller's got there's something left in that basement, right? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So there's another run in there.
A little
We
fire.
got it. We got it. We still got some.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Any fighter or matchup on this deep undercard when you have names like Edson Barbosa, Jessica Andrade? What is jumping out to you?
Brian Battle.
Brian Battle. People
I
love that
that
kid.
fight's
Yep.
buried right now.
Yeah, man. I love Brian Battle. I remember I was hanging out with him out in Paris, and he's a cool dude. And he's a dog in there, man. I love watching him fight.
He's got a little attitude, like in a good way.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he was like, fuck this crowd. I was like, this is my guy. This is my guy.
He's 4-0 with 1 no contest in his last 5. What type of matchup, Luke, are you expecting against Nursultan
Ruziboyev? Brian Battle has surprised me, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I'm guessing Long Island Luke that Battle is the favorite here.
That's a good question, Luke. I just have a question for everyone. Isn't Battle moving up to 85?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes, he
that
is.
would make me a little
And he
nervous.
wasn't happy about the billing here, you know, like the second. from the bottom.
Ruziboyev has been somewhat unimpressive to me. Battle, I think, has a little bit all over the place sometimes with his offense. But I just feel like Ruziboyev is, I don't know. He seems to fight more. How do I explain this? I think Battle will be able to be on the front foot here, and I think that's going to be the difference maker.
So it's minus 170 Battle plus 142.
That's about right. Yep.
That is going to be an absolute banger. Look, women's strawweight not as exciting as that prime era not too long ago, but Jessica Andrade and Lupi Godinez, that has the potential to be kind of a sleeper action fight. No,
No doubt about it. 115. There's still a little bit of life left in that division as well. Jessica Andrade is so funny to me. Jessica Andrade was strong at 135. She's a fucking power lifter at 115.
somehow she's only 33. She's been around forever
and has fought everybody. It's absurd. Her resume is fucking absurd. And of course was a champion too. But Godinez, is it Godinez or Godinez? Is it Enye
I think it's
or
the
N?
latter, but tomato.
Here,
Chazon,
there's no Enye here, so I'm going to say Godinez. Either way, Lupi, to me, slowly starting to put it together as well. The wrestling, I think, is going to be obviously critical in this matchup. We'll see what Andrade can do.
Andrade losing five of her last 7, but also a former champion. Is it still like that puncher's chance is always going to mean a lot? Dan Henderson had that puncher's chance, who was 46, by the way.
Yeah, she's elite. You know, she's got power and she's got jiu-jitsu. She could, and at 115, she's I don't see anybody touching her at 115. I'm excited to see her there.
It might be end of days for a legend in Edson Barbosa. He's at the tail end here, but he's arguably in like the best shape of his damn life.
Back to 55.
And him back to 55 against Dricus Close. Like, I'd watch it. Yeah, hell yeah. Let's see what we got. I don't think Barbosa's that far out of it. He did send our good friend Billy Q to the sub-regions, but he's still in there. I love when they just sprinkle on the names at the end of the card. Let's do it. This card has that.
And Dricus Close, you know,
is a dog.
Yeah, I mean, he'll fight like a fucking maniac. Like, that one should be, no matter who wins, fun as shit, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you mentioned the Dana White Contender Series return on Tuesday with the debut there of, what was that fella's name?
Vasynger Sorsukayev.
And he's coming on like 3-4 days notice, and they're going to give him an opportunity to shine here. That should be fun. Long Island Luke, you're much closer to the Ultimate Fighter than you really deserve
fucking
to be.
Loser.
But 2 finals coming to this card. Should we know things?
Yeah, I mean, I should be the guy to go to for this because I did technically watch this season.
You probably did a live stream.
I can say
during
one
it,
thing.
yeah?
There's a big regional promotion that's in Kazakhstan that people need to start paying attention to called NAIZA, N-A-I-Z-A, and 2 of their former fighters, Alibi Idris and then Daniil Donchenko, both came from NAIZA.
Okay. All right.
Neal, also that guy that is boys with Robert Valentine. They did that funny thing during the ceremonial weigh-in where they like punched arms and flexed and yelled.
Yes, and then they got sent to hell, right?
Yeah.
So
maybe the same for Daniil. We'll see.
That's gotta suck if you do the gimmick and then you. What? By the way, we should not be allowed to point down anymore. Can we ban that?
The Max
now?
Holloway thing, all the fucking guys doing that.
Yeah.
I feel like you might do that shit though.
I mean,
would you do that? What happens if you're in a fight? Let me ask a question. So you're in a fight, you're up 2 rounds to 1, right? And you know it, like 2 rounds until you took him down, beat the fuck out of him. You got 1 round where they did the dancing, and then at the end, your opponent does this. What are you doing?
I'm throwing down.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That is then your UFC 319 pay-per-view this Saturday from Chicago. But
where are you going to watch the fight?
We'll see. I'm gonna try to stay awake for the main event. That's
he's a young,
that's the battle.
Young, new father. So,
yeah, that is the battle.
I'll probably be home and watching and gonna just take a nap during the day. Try to and tell you, staying up for these main events now are tough on these pay-per-views.
Us East Coast guys, you know, we're washed. You know, you will be one day. I'm sorry, it's the truth. One day there's gonna be a knock on your door. It's gonna be old balls. You got to answer it. You know what I'm saying?
That's very true.
All right. We had talked before about you coming back. You know, you're on a 2-fight skid. It happens here. You've taken, though, it seems like a lot of time off to recharge.
Yeah.
You said ideally it'd be MSG. You know, we know what you love to do in that cage there. If you had the choice, who would it be? Come on. If you had the damn choice.
If I had the choice, you know, so right now I'm tied with the most fights at Madison Square Garden with Michael Chandler and Jim Miller. All 3 of us have 3 fights at the Garden. So, you know, it'd be cool to get one of those guys.
See, imagine him and Michael Chandler see you at the top.
That's a good one. Dude, the Jim Miller one's good too.
Long Island Luke, come to the table without a Huntington bias. What is the betting line on Michael Chandler versus Steamroller?
That's got to be a pick-em, right?
Pick-em, wow.
Yeah, I feel like Michael Chandler.
I won't get that fight.
Michael Chandler's on a
give me
skid
Michael
right
Chandler
now,
fight.
man.
Also,
and he's old.
Chandler's out there shilling already.
Luke, put some respect on that man, okay?
Who?
Black History Month's own Michael Chandler. Okay, please. Thank you. All right.
We'll see. I bet Michael Chandler's going to fight McGregor at the White House.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to call Diaz out of the bullpen.
That would
imagine
be
if we
good.
got that trilogy at that's wild.
Yeah.
Would you be, I know you weren't like jumping to social media and we're like, President Trump, please pick me. But like, that's insane to fight on the White House.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I want to get a big win at MSG and then we get on the White House.
Oh, let's go, Steamroller.
If you come to DC, I'll take you out to eat, and then we'll get shot by the National Guard. But it's okay.
Yes,
we'll have a good
yes.
meal before you.
I
guys.
can't wait.
Yeah, we can recreate January 6th. It'd be great.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
We'll shit on Pelosi's desk. We'll have a great
wild.
time.
Wow. Okay. This was fun, guys. Thank you so much. Shout out to Cuervo, of course, and shout out to you, the listener. Please follow and like us. We will be back next Friday with your typical fan segments of Fan Subs Dead Wrong, all that stuff. You know how
I talk for a living. My name is stupid. I'm this guy.
You know how to reach the show, of course, with morningcombat@gmail.com. You just saw our social handles as well. Where can we find the Steamroller moving forward?
Steamroller Frevola on Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff.
I'm talking about right there. You can see his handle on the screen. Follow him. We're fired up for your return. We know you're going to bring the boom.
Yeah. So hey, do us a favor. All right. If you get on that MSG card, pop in on studio during fight week.
Will do.
Because we have a show on Mondays. So you got plenty of time for the weight cut and everything. Come see us on that Monday, all right?
I'll be here.
All right.
Yeah, one of my favorites. And congratulations to you and your wife. On
Round of applause here for Steamroller, everyone.
Continuation there,
There
the
we go.
start of that Frevola family. We love to see that. Shout out to your twin bro there, Cheese Roller. What do you got to say about that guy?
Yeah, he's doing good. He's helping me with all my socials and helping me with all my sponsorships. And he always gives me like fight breakdowns too.
Yes.
And then he gets opponent. He always gets my opponent, like who I want to fight. He gets like 5 guys of possible opponents, and then we give them to my manager.
I love that.
Bro, I didn't even tell you this. So I was in that sleepy little beach town in the middle of nowhere, and I was crossing the street.
What state?
It was in Virginia.
Okay.
And I'm crossing the street, and some guy goes, "Luke," and I turn around. Do you know who it was? I'd never met him before. Phil Hawes' brother.
Oh, wow.
Phil
That's
Hawes'
random.
brother. He's like, I'm Phil Hawes' brother, and he looked like him too.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. And anyway.
All right, good shit.
Yeah.
We can't wait to see Frevola back, by the way. Luke, this weekend, can they catch your post-fight show?
Yeah, we're gonna do a post-fight show, and we're gonna do a full main card watch along because I haven't done one in so long. So main card watch along, and then immediately into the post-fight
All right,
show.
no
Yep.
MK tomorrow on Friday, but I will be getting inside the box on the BCX there at 11 a.m. Eastern. Long Island Luke, can we find you not hanging out with your girlfriend this weekend?
Yeah, I'll be doing a full card watch along. Full card, not just main card. So
Everybody's
tune in
got a
for
podcast for Vola, right? Do you have a podcast too? I mean,
no, I don't.
There you go. You're doing well. Shout out to Coach Ray
Don't start
Longo.
one. They're terrible.
Tell Coach Ray we love him, okay?
Yeah. Big shouts to Coach Ray. We love Coach Ray.
Good shit. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the fights on Saturdays, guys. DDP versus Chimaev. It's going to be great. UFC 319. Thank you. We are out of here.